Woo! What is going on, people? Hope you're all doing well. Welcome back to more Esports Talk. Did anyone else expect much different from what we got this past weekend? I would say maybe a bit different. The end goal, the end-all, be-all, Atlanta FaZe winning their own homestand event. I would say a large majority of people saw that coming. Now, the means of how we got there, though, that was a complete shock. If you guys did miss it this past weekend, by the way, 3 weekends in a row, I do believe peak viewership has only gone up for the CDL, which has been amazing to watch so far. The storylines and, of course, all of that jazz will come throughout this week. The overall results, though, yes, Atlanta FaZe have taken their first CDL championship at their homestand event, I would say, in great fashion in that final, albeit, though, still a very close final. Who they faced off against, that being the Florida Mutineers. What many people thought was, what do we expect from these guys? I don't think many people also thought they'd be in the grand finals alongside FaZe Clan playing them, although a 3-0 sweep, a super close series in S&D and Dom, and so that series could have been, I would say, a bit closer, maybe a game 4, maybe a game 5 if they got lucky, but either way, Atlanta FaZe show their dominance, and their run to get there almost did not happen. If we go back to the group play as well, the biggest shock, I would say, Toronto, yeah, they make that change with Vance, and he was looking pretty solid. They take Chicago Huntsmen to a game 5, round 11, and lose it. Toronto still have yet to get on the board throughout this season with anything meaningful, and yet when you got to imagine, though, losing a series like that, opening series, taking one of the best teams in the league to a game 5, round 11, to lose that has to be so hard to come back from, and they end their series and their weekend 0-2 alongside Optic Gaming. Optic Gaming, I would say, in my opinion, they look lost by many regards out there, but you got to keep in mind the talent they have played against. Yes, they get 3-0 swept by FaZe Clan. They lose to Florida 3-1, but keep in mind, those were both your grand finalists. Optic Gaming, by the way, have only played top teams in this league so far this season, so when it comes time for standings, I do still see them as a top 6, top 8 team. I think the battle for LA will show them out a bit better, but when it comes time for surprises here, I got to give it to London and Paris being a bit of upsets, especially following CDL London event. I thought they'd show up a bit better, and it certainly was the Rokkr and the Mutineers to really throw things for a whirl. Of course, the final results on screen for all of you guys. The Rokkr themselves, yet again, a team who has had many close series, even against teams like Toronto, and I did not expect them to do this kind of thing as they did. It was definitely shocking, because the Rokkr, of all teams out there, they take down Paris twice in both those series, and then get reverse swept by FaZe in a series that obviously, if you go up 2-0 on anybody, you expect to close it out. We were not, I would say, a stranger to reverse sweeps, but yes, the way they played against Paris, both those back-to-back series, and almost take down the Atlanta FaZe, certainly an impressive showing from another team out there alongside Florida. I frankly did not know what to expect from Florida. You really can't argue their run either. They take down Optic, they take down Paris, and also take down the Huntsmen to face off against Atlanta. And yeah, keep in mind, both our semis from CDL London went to game 5. Both our semis for this event, Atlanta, went to game 5, and both ended in reverse sweeps. Atlanta pull off theirs, Chicago fail to theirs as Florida pull off a reverse sweep against them. The Titans, we saw the most emotional moment I think I probably ever have in esports as RC Zabracini took the stage for their post-game interviews, and albeit the final maybe not close scoreline, I still stick to it though. Map 2 and 3 were very close, and that series could have been a lot more close, but either way, impressive showings from many teams out there. I would say disappointment when it comes to Toronto, but still looking promising. Disappointment from Optic, a very poor tournament, I would say, from a guy like TJ, which you don't expect coming, but still, they've only faced off against top talent. Still a top team in my book. Paris and London, they fall short in my opinion, and guys like Minnesota Rokkr and certainly Florida are huge shockers, and I would say the upset of the event having to go to Florida, making their first grand final, and Atlanta take it though. And yes, guys like Selly and Simp, Abizi, the entire roster looked absolutely nuts, but that's not to say they can bleed. We've all seen it, guys. They can bleed from some of the teams we did not think that could even force them to bleed. And so it's going to be crazy to see what happens in future events, guys. The battle for LA does approach as well, and I could not be more excited. These are a handful of teams that can all beat each other. But with that being said, FaZe have yet to be beaten, and for me, they have to be your #1 team. We now have 2 teams out there with championships. The Huntsmen, as they go out top 4 here, they still have a single championship for our first official homestand weekend. Atlanta FaZe take our second CDL championship and title, and until next time, I hope you guys all enjoy. I have plenty of storylines from this weekend I'll be releasing throughout the entire week as we approach our next homestand event. I would say another great event here for Call of Duty, guys. Viewership keeps on escalating, keeps on rising, and hopefully next event we will finally see a showdown. It won't be, though, for some time now, the Huntsmen Atlanta FaZe to actually meet in a grand final, but that's just going to be build up for when they do in the future. Until next time, hope you guys all enjoy. Drink your coffee, drink your water. I'll be back here all day long.